Florence was born on a farm in Nobles County, Minnesota on February 2nd, 1930. It was during one of the worst depressions in history. Her father, George Wordsma, was born on September 8th, 1904 in George, Iowa. His parents were Herman and Rose Brook of George, Iowa. His mom, Luella, was born on August 16, 1906 near Rock Rapids, Iowa, to George and Mindy and Mick. They came from Germany as newlyweds and had 13 kids. George and Luella had 9 kids, 5 boys and 4 girls. All they did was farm. She was 6 years old when she started school, and she went to a country school until she was in 8th grade. Her subjects were math, history, and spelling. It wasn't like today. She had to do chores. Some of the chores were bringing in wood and cobs for the stove, help turn the churn to make butter, and fill the reservoir with water, and bring in pails of water to drink. In the morning it had to be frozen. They were very busy kids. They had a house they lived in was very small. They only had beds, tables, and chairs. They had great neighbors. They would work together and work. Birthdays were all the same. Her dad would bring in a pail of milk from the barn and make chocolate. In the winter, he would get ice from the river so they could have ice cream. Her mother was one of the best cooks in the neighborhood. When she was younger, she lived near Little Rock by the river. In the summer, the gypsies would park in the pasture in covered wagons during the night, and they'd steal eggs and chickens. In the morning, they'd be gone. When the weather was nice, they had to walk to school. When it was cold, her dad would cut a few fences, and they'd cross the field in a horse and wagon. Her least favorite thing was wearing her brother's clothes to school. Then her mother bought a pellet sewing machine and made their clothes out of feed sacks. They had no electricity or telephone. When her mother washed clothes, they used a kerosene engine to wash clothes on the washing machine, but was hard to start in the winter. They had to hang clotheslines in their house to dry the clothes. When lighting their house, they only used kerosene lamps. When she was little, one of the things she liked was roller skating with the neighbor kids. Like most kids, she liked clothes and music. She had a big garden. One year they had such a big garden, they had a wagon full of potatoes they had to carry in the basement. A day was picked, and neighbors got together to butcher hogs and beef. Then it was time to dry the meat and lard. She met her spouse Dwayne at a dance when she was 16. It was wartime, and they had rations on times, cars, gas, and tires. When he was 21 and she was 19, they were married. They moved to a small tenant house a half mile from her job. He worked 6 days a week for $25. His boss gave him a raise to $30 a week. They enjoy country western music and loved to dance. She wore short black and white sandals and white anklets. They enjoyed taking their kids to Sunday school and church. They enjoyed help at church, and she still does at age 87. Some historical events were the war. She saw 3 of her brothers go off to war. Her oldest brother was in the World War II, second brother was in the Korean War, and a third brother was in training but never went to war. She enjoys spending time with her son, daughter, grandkids, and great-grandkids and their spouses. Some of the best memories were taking bus tours to almost every state in the United States. Her worst memory was when her sister, who was 4 years older, passed away from pneumonia. She had to give up her education to help her mom take care of 5 kids. She wouldn't change anything. She's had a great life. Her favorite verse from confirmation is John 14:1-2. Some advice my grandma has always given me was work hard, work things out, get a good education, and never do drugs.